We are here with our special guest. Just walked in the room. Bob Harper is here. He's got a new book called The Super Carb Diet. Now, you had me at carb. So,
you had me at super.
Yes. So, and we're going to talk all about the book. We're going to talk about what's going on with you, all over the news with this heart attack business. I mean, there's so many things. Obviously the cause of it, but then there's the metaphysical.
And he's got a commercial now, too.
Commercial for what?
It's on MSNBC all the time.
Oh, yeah. I did a deal
drug.
with AstraZeneca, a major pharmaceutical company, selling the drug that I take, Brilinta.
Oh, and so you're dealing drugs now.
I am a drug dealer.
We're going to put that microphone real close.
Okay, I am a drug dealer.
Yeah. So how long after you had the heart attack did they say, "Hey, come here, I want to talk to you"?
Well, I was. My agent got a call it was about 6 months or 8 months. 6 months later, because I became very open and upfront about my recovery and what I've been going through and experiencing, and I just felt like I needed to just put it all out there. And that's when they contacted me.
Did you get to choose who shot the commercial? Is it pretty, Michelle?
No.
No.
It's Bob's beautiful no matter what. But
My dogs.
It's literally Bob on a screen going, "Hi, I'm Bob Harper," and then it's very call to
technical.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not glamorous, Bob.
But I was really happy with that, Michelle.
Okay, well, it's a serious situation.
It's a serious situation, but I love the fact that at first I have two dogs that I'm very, very connected
passionate
to.
about.
I'm very passionate. Karl Lagerfeld and Vivian Westwood.
I love them.
I
Karl
know
and Viv.
you would love them. But anyway, they wanted me to have a dog in the commercial because, I'm walking on the beach, with my dog. I'm living my best life.
Yes.
But they wanted me to have a Labrador Retriever or something. And I said, no, it has to be my dogs.
Yes.
And I had to jump through a lot of hoops to make that happen. But my dogs are the star of that commercial.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so anyway, that's when I see the commercial, I see my dog.
Of course.
So I'm a crazy dog lady. I've
daddy.
become a crazy dog lady.
When did that happen?
Well, I think that when I got my first dog, Carl, he's a rescue dog, and he was just a mess, and I just had to swoop in and save this dog, and he and I became very attached. And when I had my heart attack, my best friends brought the dog to me in the hospital, and then I got another dog during my recovery, and I'm just, they're my kids.
They saved many lives.
Saved many lives. Now, Bob Harper, we've got so much to talk about.
I know.
Michelle's
we have more to. I want to talk about your show. I want to talk about the first time we ever met.
Yes.
I want to see if you remember, because there's no
Why
way
don't you
you'll
talk
remember.
about that first?
Okay, because you lived in
I just want to
Atlanta.
talk about you.
Did you lived in Atlanta, right?
I did not live in Atlanta, but I used to go to Atlanta all the time.
But
and
you're
you used to go to
Southern.
Backstreet or something?
I went to Backstreet, but we met at a bar called Weekends. Do you remember Weekends?
Wait a minute. Okay, hold on.
Okay,
For
no.
the people who don't know, Weekends was a club
heaven.
in Atlanta. It actually opened up in '83, and it was our neighborhood club. And new wave, disco, all that stuff. This is 1983, and in after New York City spit me out, I was there for 6 months in '84, and it spit me back out. I went back to Atlanta, and I got a job in Rocky Horror Show, which is this play there.
You were
and then
Riff, weren't you?
I was Riff Raff.
Yeah.
And then I got a job as the only go-go dancer at Weekends Disco from the summer of '85 until November of '87, and I did it three or four nights
Because
a
that's
week.
when you came back to New York.
I came back to New York in 87. Yes. But I worked at Weekends for years. In fact, now there's a Federal Reserve in that spot. It's at 10th and Peachtree in Midtown. And someone said they should have a statue
What's
of you
a Federal Reserve?
on that. It's a Federal Reserve
Like a bank?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a federal building. They should have a statue of me on the go-go box in front of
They
this building.
should!
Because I became famous as the go-go dancer at Weekends Discotheque.
Enter Bob Harper.
I remember going to that club, and it was my favorite club.
It's the best club.
I loved it. It
Yeah.
was wonderful. I remember being on the dance floor, and all of a sudden the door would open because someone would leave and the sun would be up, and I'd be like, "Oh my God,
Yes.
what time is it?"
Yes.
Oh, the 80s.
Oh, it was so fun, so much fun.
But all of a sudden, this queen comes up to me with this long red hair, short dress, and galoshes. The bitch had me at galoshes.
Right.
I mean,
Which in New Jersey you call them rubbers.
okay,
Yes,
well,
yes.
in the South where I come from, we called them galoshes.
Yes.
So anyway, she comes walking up with galoshes and that red hair, and I was
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
well, I love you.
Yeah.
And we had a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that in Atlanta especially that there was the traditional classic drag where they were pageantry,
Yes.
and we were the punk rock queens where we would mix it up with galoshes and a mini skirt and crazy, and I was doing all that crazy stuff.
Yeah, I
back
mean,
then.
you were everything, and I remember when you became the RuPaul that
Yes.
everyone knows. I remember just being like this. I know that bitch.
Right.
I know her.
Right.
Yeah.
I partied with her. I had a lot of fun with that RuPaul.
Thousands of people have said that exact same line. I know that bitch. I party with her.
Yes,
I used to have a lot of fun. And you were living in Nashville at that time?
I was living in Nashville.
Are you from Nashville?
I'm originally from a little farm in north of Nashville called Clarksville, Tennessee. So I grew up on a cattle farm on a road with no name. So when you play that, what's your porn star name? It's like the road. I would have one name, Waldo, because that was like the name of my dog.
Yeah.
Waldo. I would have no last name.
My sister lives in Murfreesboro.
I know
Murfreesboro.
Murfreesboro.
There you go.
MTSU.
There you go.
Yep.
But when they monkeys sing about the last train to Clarksville,
That's
Clarksville. Is that what they're talking
last
about?
train to Clarksville.
Really?
Yeah, because Clarksville is attached to a military base.
You mean military?
Military. Military base called Fort Campbell. And
Okay.
so that's why people know about that.
Okay. And so, you're an only child?
No, I had two older sisters, and they were like 5 and 6 years older than me. So I was, I think I was a mistake, especially because the attention that I did not get from
I would
my
say
family.
a surprise, not a mistake.
Yeah.
I was a surprise. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. You should ask them. I think it was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you become your older sister's sort of class project? Did they just take you under their wing and say, this is disco, this is Karl Lagerfeld?
Okay, well, this is what I love about you so much because I'm obsessed with you.
Good.
I am obsessed with
As
you.
you should be. I think I'm someone who should, you could. So everyone should be obsessed with
But
me.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
I
so.
love your brain because you and I are similar in the way that you like all your reference points, like everything that you talk about. It's like the one on the episode, one of your episodes recently. You're just like, I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at the dirt. And I'm like, Mommy dearest, y'all. What do you mean?
yeah.
How do you not know what she's talking about?
No, part of my job is as an educator.
Right.
You know.
I know. We have to educate the kids.
That's right.
But my sisters never brought me under their wing. I was very much so into pop culture, and when I was growing up, I wanted to watch Soul Train, and my
Oh yeah.
and my dad was not wanting me to watch Soul Train.
Really?
They were like, you can watch American Bandstand.
It was a black
Oh
thing.
my goodness.
Yeah, and I was just like, I want to watch. I want to watch Soul Train.
Yeah.
I want to see, especially the line dance.
Oh
The
yeah,
best.
the Soul Train.
Do you remember the Asian girl? There was
Yeah,
like that
her
one
name-
Asian girl
what's
with
her
that
name,
long.
Michelle?
The Asian girl, I don't remember her name, but I remember her.
I know her name. Oh shoot.
Yua.
No, it's not Yua. But yeah. Anyway,
Yes.
we'll look up her name.
Yeah. So anyway, I was I just drank pop culture.
Yes.
I needed to know everything about movies, and I wasn't a very good student.
Yeah.
Because I was just more interested in going out and like
Sure.
yeah,
Colors and music and dancing.
I was much
and
more interested in that
laughter.
than reading, To Kill a Mockingbird.
Cheryl Song.
Cheryl Song, that's right. That's right. That's her name. She had very long hair.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And she did a few movies too. And I think she was on Soul Train longer than anyone else.
Yeah, well, bitch, I remember Rosie Perez on that line
Yes,
too.
yes,
Uh-huh,
Rosie
yes.
Perez. There were several long-time Soul Train. Actually, I visited the set of Soul Train once in 1976, and I had just missed a new singer on the scene who had just done her new hit "Love to Love You, Baby." Donna
Wow,
Summer.
you
I
just
just
missed her?
missed her, but I think I saw Johnny Taylor lip sync "Disco Lady." Remember that
Really?
song? "Disco Lady," Johnny Taylor.
I remember, speaking of Donna Summer, I remember when the double album of Bad Girls
Yes.
came
On the radio.
out.
No, that's not on the radio. On
That's
the
not
radio
Bad
is the
Girls?
greatest hits.
That's the greatest. On
That
the radio
came
is the greatest
after.
hits.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so what was the one?
Yes, Mama Ruth.
Yep.
Double one.
Well, she had three. She's the artist who had 3 consecutive platinum double albums. So the first double album probably was Once Upon a Time. The second would probably be Bad Girls, but there was a third that was also a double.
Works hard for the money.
No, that's 83. That's
It-
83. Yes.
Well, I just remember saving up my little nickels to get that double album.
Yeah.
And I remember just opening it up, and I remember seeing all like those. There was little photographs, scenarios of prostitutes
Yes.
with their johns,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
at the light pole.
Yes.
I remember all that kind of
it's
stuff.
so good.
Yeah.
In fact, I love that album cover so
Didn't
much.
you did?
You know what? I did a interpolation
Yeah.
of the picture. I have an
An
album
homage.
called it's a compilation thing called I think it's called Drag Race. I think it's called Drag Race. And there's a picture of me and I'm posing in the exact same my head is turned the exact same way as the Donna Summer.
Wasn't RuPaul Red Hot?
Red Hot is actually
Donna Summer.
No, Red Hot is actually Diana's Chic album, you know, with the arm
okay.
up like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's if you look at it, you'll tell, you know, you can tell. But I love the Donna Summer album because there's one
it was
scenario,
Donna Summer?
the Donna Summer, but there's one scenario where it's from the point of view of the John. He's got his hands on the steering wheel and a $20 bill in one of his hands.
Yep.
And
I
there
forgot
she
about
is.
that.
She's in the distance next to a light post. Yeah.
I had that one too.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
I do remember that.
Yeah, it's a great album. You know, the Donna Summer musical is coming to Broadway.
Yep.
I saw it down in San
Yeah.
Diego.
I hope it's going to be good. Is it going to be good?
Well, you know, it's got lots of great songs.
Because I'm a big Broadway fan.
It's a jukebox.
It's a jukebox
musicals.
show.
And those are what you take from it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like
'Cause the Cher one's
Mamma
coming,
Mia.
too.
The
I
Cher
wanted to kill myself in Mamma Mia.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. The songs are great. The story's just sort of pieced together.
Right.
It was
you
enough
know.
for the tourists though, because it went on forever.
Yes, yes.
Wait, you know what I have to tell you? Can I tell you? Can I tell you
Yes,
something?
please.
I want to tell you. Speaking of, well, not my book, but my heart attack, what I went through. You don't realize, and this is where I'm going to might get emotional for a
Okay.
second.
We don't mind
Okay, I'm
getting
just going to tell
emotional.
you. During my recovery, I was going through a really, really tough time, and I wasn't allowed to work out. I was, confined to my apartment in New York. I all I could do was walk. So it was like I led a very kind of like isolated life. So I had only seen bits and pieces of RuPaul's Drag Race, and for whatever reason, scheduling, like all of a sudden, I started watching RuPaul's Drag Race, and the joy I got, the happiness that it gave me. You are an integral part of my recovery.
Wow.
It was such a big deal. And my boyfriend said something that like is one of the best lines ever, because I was just like, oh my God, how did I miss this show? This is the best show. I love her so much. I loved drag. I loved Michelle. I loved everything about it. And he looked at me and he went like this: drag finds you when you need it the most. And I had that moment as I'm sitting on the sofa eating my skinny pop, and I looked at him and I went, "You're so right." And I mean, I got into that show full.
Really, all the seasons. You went back and found all the seasons.
Girl, and let me tell you, there was one season, because I was watching it like through.
Season 1's hard to find.
Yeah.
Season 1 was hard to find, which still have not seen
Yeah.
season
Yeah.
1. But season 4, is that the one with Sharon
Yes.
Needles?
Yes.
That was the one that was like
Yeah.
disappeared, and
Really?
it like I couldn't find it like on Netflix. Like, it wasn't on iTunes.
Yeah.
Nothing. 4 was gone, and I was just like, I needed to see it because I knew that I was going to be obsessed with Sharon Needles.
Right.
And from what everyone was telling me, and so one of my really good friends in New York, he got me the DVD.
Okay.
And I mean, I sat there and I was like so thankful to watch it.
Aw.
But like, yeah, I
No, it's brilliant.
I'm the biggest. You don't realize that I'm the biggest RuPaul.
I love it.
Drag race.
I
fan.
love it. I love it. You know, it's interesting how, and I want to ask you about this too. The process.
But thank you. That's what I wanted to say.
You're
Thank
so
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
But you know, I wanted to ask you about the metaphysical reasons for the heart attack, because obviously there was blockage or cholesterol or something, and that's the physical reason.
exactly
But
what it was.
what do you think, having sat your ass down for a while to just sit in that and understand why did this happen to me? What do you think the metaphysical reason?
And then
the bigger reason.
After that, let's talk about the physical, because I have questions about science.
Okay. Well, the realization that I came to with a lot of meditation and a lot of soul searching, because once fitness was taken away from me and that whole lifestyle, I suffered a severe anxiety, identity crisis. I did not know who I was. If I wasn't the guy in the gym, who the fuck was I?
Right.
And so I realized that I am more than that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what's her name? I am not my hair.
Yes.
Like, I'm thinking about I'm blanking on her name right now.
Yeah.
But I am not the gym. I am. There is more to me.
Had you
than that.
used the gym as a way to deflect certain feelings that were happening?
Oh, absolutely. I used the gym for everything. I used it for therapy. I used it for mind clearing. I used it for avoidance. Like the gym was where I went when I went to feel good, but I also went to avoid any other things.
Sure. Yes.
And I've really come to a lot of realizations about myself now in regard to that.
Didn't it happen at the gym?
Yes.
So
I was
isn't that-
in the gym where, I still work out in New York in my neighborhood. And next thing I knew, I woke up 2 days later around her and them saying, you had a heart attack and died on that floor, because it wasn't like I just had a heart attack. I immediately went into cardiac arrest.
Right.
Because you had the Widowmaker, didn't you?
I had a Widowmaker. That's right, Michelle. And they had to put me on ice because they didn't know how long I was without oxygen to the brain. So my friends, their whole thing was, is he going to survive? And then once they realized that I was going to survive, was I going to be the same person?
Right.
And when all this, because they didn't divulge any of this information to me, they were like kind of giving it to me in spurts throughout. I didn't know any of these things.
Yeah.
Like, when I realized that there was there was a time of death on a form somewhere, I was like, really?
More importantly, though, did you wake up with blood in your panties?
I did not wake up with blood in my
Thank
panties.
God.
Okay.
I mean, my healthcare providers really took good care
they
of me.
didn't have their way with you.
They did not have their way with me. It wasn't one of those Kill
Then
Bill
who's
moments.
the
Remember when
real
she's in the
lucky
coma
Yes.
all that time and
Yeah.
they're selling her off?
Yeah.
Which I would think they would maybe get like some
Yeah,
good
sure,
money. I would
yes.
think that I would be
You're
offering
a name. You're a name.
top
The best
dollar.
New York
Top
Times
dollar.
best-selling author.
Yes.
It's just amazing. Now, obviously, you pointed to your friend Christy. Christy is here with you right now. So, do you always have a chaperone with you now, just in case?
Well, therefore, I was afraid.
I bet you did.
I was afraid to be by myself.
Yeah.
But you had a quadruple bypass? What did you
No, I did not. I had 2 stents put in.
2 stents,
Two
okay.
stents put in. And it's so funny because, as you can see, I have a lot of tattoos, and my tattoo artists all in Brooklyn, they were like this. Just tell me how the tattoos handle. And I was like, it was fine.
Yeah.
I had this bracelet that I'm not wearing right now. They had to normally go. The cath lab goes through your wrist. They couldn't do that because of my bracelet. Thank God they didn't cut it off.
Yeah.
So they had to go through my groin.
Right. Oh.
Speaking of tattoos, hold on, rewind button.
Yeah.
Do you have is that a new tattoo? I noticed it last night of a heart.
Oh, no, it's a star. It's
Oh, it's
old.
stars.
Yeah.
I've got like 30 of them. I just hide them.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at,
Yes.
your breast
Yeah,
region.
Michelle has 2 stents put in too. Oh, no, did I say stents? No, implants.
Yeah. A little bit different.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to, how long do we have before we go to break?
He's I think he's asleep over
So
there.
then let's talk about the physical side of it, because I was a huge Biggest Loser fan, and I fell in love with you on there because of your approach. I've been training and dating bodybuilders and all that crap because I grew up in New Jersey my entire life. And there's 2 different approaches. And there's either drill sergeant in your face, and then there's compassion, but making you get the job done and making you take responsibility. And that's what I fell in love with about you.
I'm direct.
You're direct, but
I'm
you're
direct.
compassionate. And you're not drill sergeant. You're like, you're going to die. And that's the stuff I like to hear. I think direct, it is. I want direct, but I don't want ass kicking, belittling.
I don't want berating.
Correct.
That's right.
And I think that's why I fell in love with you on that show. We watched your journey. And when this happened to you, I thought, how did this happen to you when I know that show? And I'm not talking about the training part of it. It's so thorough with the testing. This would have been detectable if you had gotten a cardiac physical.
That's a really good question. I actually had to get physicals
Every year, which
every
is why-
season,
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
And I have an issue that is genetic. It's called LPA, and it's a cholesterol issue, just like you'd said about blockage with cholesterol. So I encourage everyone
To get an echo? Could they would have been
all it is a simple blood test. When they check your cholesterol,
Yeah.
they always do HDL, LDL, right? Tell your doctor you want to get LPA. So it is just another test, and they check if they would have seen this issue of mine, maybe I wouldn't have had it. Dr. Oz, as I can name drop doctors all day long now.
Yes.
Dr. Oz, God, he was so wonderful throughout this whole process with me.
Was he your attending physician?
He was not my attending physician, but I'd worked with Dr. Oz for many years on his show and knowing him. And when he heard this about me, I mean, he came swooping in.
Amazing.
And he made sure that I was with all the best doctors. He made sure that I was well taken care of. And when he sent me to Columbia Presbyterian to a wonderful doctor up there, Dr. Ginsburg, who is a cholesterol savant. And he's the one that found out that this was the issue that I have. And it's just like trying to get people to realize that they need to get this other.
the LPA. Would it not be detectable on an echocardiogram?
No, it's a simple blood test.
Now, who's the cholesterol savant? What's his name?
Ginsburg.
Dr. Ginsburg.
I bet he's having fried chicken for lunch right now.
I
bet he is.
Not my Dr. Ginsburg.
I bet he is. Now we've got Bob Harper here. His new book is called The Super Carb Diet. We're going to get into that because we want to know what to eat. Michelle is obsessed with what to eat.
Yep.
And
I want to know about Bendela.
we're going to talk about everything.
Very much related.
Everything.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the South. We're going to talk about Clarksville and all that stuff. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Bob Harper. You know, Michelle, I went to Broadway recently and I saw Angels in America.
I mean, how amazing is
You've
that?
seen it several times, though.
I saw it the original Broadway production.
Yeah.
And then I saw it in London when it was up with Nathan Lane and Andrew Garfield.
That's who I saw it in New York with those. Oh my goodness, it is so good. Now, of course, it's a long it's a long play. It's not
It's a
musical.
commitment.
It's a commitment, but it was so good. It was life changing.
Do you know that Andrew Garfield said, do you know, you know.
Yeah.
Like he got into character by watching Drag Race.
Drag Race.
Yeah.
And he does such a fabulous job. I just wish everybody out there listening would have the opportunity to see this show or any show. Broadway and theater is a life-changing commitment to the arts and to yourself.
And you know, you guys were talking about Today Ticks, and every time, not only Broadway, Rue, I use this in London all the time for the West End, but it's also available in San Francisco.
I use it in San Francisco.
I use it here in LA.
Yep, me too.
DC, Chicago, Seattle, Philly, more cities coming soon. Stay tuned. You can discover over 80 musicals, comedies, dramas, and that's just in New York alone.
Yeah.
Today Ticks pioneered the mobile lottery and mobile rush technology. You can enter lotteries to see shows at deep discounts in all the cities are in. I enter the lotteries when I'm here in town. I just enter all the lotteries.
Yeah, that's how I saw the Donna Summer show.
The lottery?
It's called Summer. Oh, it's down in San Diego, but it was down. It's going to Broadway very soon.
The Tina Turner one's in London.
You're kidding right now?
It's called Tina.
Oh my God. You know,
Turner.
the Cher one, I think is going to be in Chicago soon. It's coming to New York in the fall.
Cannot wait. Today Ticks gives you access to insider deals and exclusive offers. You can get tickets up to 50% off in just a few taps of that app. Today Ticks would like you to we're going to offer you $20 towards your first purchase with the offer code RU. So download Today Ticks app for free. It's Today TIX on the iOS and Android, or visit todaytix.com to see what's playing this week and treat yourself to a show. That's todaytix.com, offer code RU.
Squarespace time. Love Squarespace. Man, they have just revolutionized the concept of making a website.
And you know what? I'm switching over.
Are you?
I've had my website forever, and it's been nothing but trouble.
Good for you.
My husband has fought it, and now we're switching over to Squarespace.
Well, Squarespace is the way to go. It's so easy. Their click and drag program is just fabulous.
You can make a gorgeous website in minutes using that beautiful template and what Rue was talking about, the drag and drop platform. Check out squarespace.com/Rue for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, get it, use the offer code RU to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's offer code RU. It's Squarespace.
We are back with Bob Harper. You were talking before the break about what we should check when we go to the doctor for a physical. They always check for cholesterol, but you're saying make sure they check for LPA, little
A.
pussy
Lipoprotein
asshole.
Little pussy ass.
What is it?
Lipoprotein A.
And how is that different from the other one? What's the other one?
HDL,
We have
LDL.
HDL and LDL. The HDL is your good cholesterol.
Yeah.
LDL is your bad cholesterol.
Okay.
So,
For
So for
lousy.
short, you just say, doctor, I want you to check my good cholesterol and I want you to check my bad cholesterol.
and also
right?
check the cholesterol that nobody ever checks for.
Which one is
That's
that?
the LPA.
LPA.
Oh, so the bad one, they never check for the bad
That's
one.
No, they
little
always check for the. Listen,
Little pussy A.
Good-
Yeah,
there's-
I will
yeah.
never forget that.
there's HDL, which is your good, LDL, which is too low. No, LDL, which is too high. Your HDL is always too low.
Yeah.
And then he's saying the one that nobody ever checks for is the LPA. So we always get LDL and HDL.
But does anybody check for the BLT?
Well,
And the LGBT?
How about the M&Ms?
The M&M, I love me
I
some
love
M&Ms.
me some
honey.
M&Ms, yo.
Now, okay, so you've got this book. It's called The Super Carb Diet, and we're going to go back to the heart attack stuff because
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's
remarkable.
The whole thing is crazy. The fact that you would get a heart attack
Of all people.
and you said it runs in your family.
We have my mother died of a heart attack at 72. My grandfather also at 72 died of a heart attack. But when you have someone of that age dying of a heart attack, it's not necessarily a big red flag. It's when they're having heart attacks at 40 and 50
and very fit.
and fit. Yeah, so it's one of those don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Were you afraid it was going to give the people that you've trained see, this is why I don't want
Yeah,
to train this
right.
way.
Oh my God, I got so many people trying to say that, oh, well, it's the way you work out. You shouldn't have had this type of diet. I do CrossFit.
And you're a CrossFitter too.
I'm a
That's
CrossFitter.
not
And
gonna help.
they're just like, oh, well, it's because of that. And it just it makes me so angry
Yes.
if I have to hear about this. It's like,
Right.
because
Ignorance.
people out in social media, it's like they all have an opinion.
Yeah.
And they want.
You're kidding, do they?
Wait, do they have an opinion?
Oh, So it's so frustrating. I finally, at one point when I was talking about my recovery and what I eat and how I eat, first my doctor had me really going, pretty much vegan.
I was wondering why you weren't, because that is
'Cause I was more
scientifically the healthiest, heart healthy diet.
It's the heart healthy diet. Yes. It's a very hard diet to sustain, in my opinion.
For you, okay.
And but I have now become way more plant based in the way that I eat, and that makes me feel better. My cholesterol numbers are low. But the point is, those people out there in social media that are just so quick to be my judge and jury and be my doctor.
They're going to do that
And
anyway.
I finally just had to be like this. You know what, bitch? You do you,
Yep.
and let me do me.
Right.
Well, you talk about you were a vegan for a long time in your book.
I was a vegan for a long time,
Yeah.
and then I started. I felt like I wasn't as strong as I used to be. It wasn't working for me as well, and so I was following a very high protein, high fat diet.
Paleo.
And so for me, I have to really watch the fats that I eat. I can still have all my good fats, but I need to be aware of them a little bit more. And
What'd you have for breakfast this morning?
You know what? I've not had breakfast this
What
morning.
is wrong
Bad
with you?
boy.
Isn't that awful?
And
my
what about
goodness.
this 2 cups in situation? Because I get concerned as a mother.
2 cups
It's
in?
Bob does this thing on Instagram where he does 2 cups in. He's got a new mug
a-
every day, and he discusses a topic.
I have 1 minute to discuss a topic, and people are really loving this 2
it's
cups
so
in.
fun,
And
but
the reason-
I get
2 cups of
concerned-
coffee in?
So what? That's
That's
what I
what I
said.
get concerned with. Is it caffeine that you're pumping into your heart?
Coffee's fabulous. Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
He had a
It's
heart
clean
attack.
and it's natural, and I'm I'm not crazy about it, but I have my 2 cups of coffee,
Yeah.
and
Orally? You have them orally?
I have them orally.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I don't
Oh,
do.
oh, that's
I don't
an
do
interesting
Coffee
idea.
enemas.
I don't have
That's an
coffee
interesting
enemas.
idea.
You should try that
I'm gonna try that
sometime, that
sometime.
Rue.
Yeah.
I don't do my coffee enemas like Robin Quivers. She likes to stick that up her butt.
Yeah.
But so anyway, 2 cups in. I feel like I feel like after I've had 2 cups of coffee, I could just change
Solve
the
the
world.
world, yeah.
I could fix my
And
problems
you don't
and
find
yours.
that makes your
Exactly,
heart
exactly.
beat crazy.
No, and because I've worked out for such a long time, I have a very natural low resting heart rate. So it doesn't jump up. I used to be afraid of doctors, and I would have what they call white coat syndrome, where I'd go to the doctor and they'd check my blood pressure and it'd be just really high, and they'd Now I get around a doctor. I go speak at events, and I'm around a lot of doctors now. And I mean, it's like my thunder blanket. I mean, I'm just so happy to be around them. I just feel like I feel safe and feel good.
Now, and going back to the heart attack, you were lucky because there were doctors at the gym when you had the heart attack.
This was where it gets really crazy, because when it happened on a Sunday morning, there was a doctor in the gym that was not a member of the gym, and he was there.
He was there for sex.
He was there
just
for there was
Yeah.
there was actually it was like this workout event going on. It was like this gay workout event called Outwad. And the coach...
That name is definitely interesting.
Outwad.
Yeah.
But so all of a sudden the coach goes into full on attack mode.
Yeah.
She's pulling the AED, getting someone to call 911, runs around. It's like, is there a doctor in the house?
Right.
There happened to be a doctor in the house. And when he came, he told me this, when he came down the stairs, he was expecting to see someone that had hit their head. And then all of a sudden he says, I walked down those stairs and I saw Bob Harper laying on the floor and I had already turned blue.
Ooh.
That's when he was just like, everyone get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
And he started performing CPR. He put the AED on me. It wouldn't go off because I had flatline.
Oh,
and
my
those
goodness.
AEDs won't work.
They won't work if you're flatline.
Really?
And that's why this becomes
That's stupid.
This becomes well, it's. I mean, I don't know if it's stupid
The
or not.
point is shocking you back.
Right. You're right. But what he decided, because like it could have been a moment where, if it would have been anybody else, maybe they're like, all right, well, I guess he's done.
Yeah.
I guess he's done. And so Dr. Z, that's his name, Dr. Z came down and he said that he just started performing CPR and just kept going and going and going.
Oh my God.
And he kept doing that and then was able to put the AED back on and he got something.
At the right moment.
And then the shock happened. And then by this time, the paramedics came in with their
super duper.
big O super duper
Yeah.
defibs and just like,
Yeah.
My friend said when he was so traumatized by all this
can't
because
even imagine.
he was seeing all this. He was just like, all of a sudden, I just saw my friend laying on the ground, and I levitated off the ground, and he's like
From the shocking?
From the shocking. He said, I saw you levitate, and he was like, that fucked me up.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh, I get chills talking
you
about
should.
it. Oh.
I wonder if there's surveillance footage of it.
There probably is, and that is something that I would
Never
never
want
want
to
to
see.
see. I had to do, Rachel Ray is a really good friend of mine. I do her show a lot, and they did this whole thing where I went back to the gym.
Ooh.
And it was like where I had it.
Yeah.
And Rue,
Were
I
you
was
scared?
I remember walking with my dog to the gym thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to shoot this for
Yeah.
Rachel. And I wasn't really thinking of the impact that I was going to have. Mm-hmm. Well, let me tell you, I gave them good TV.
Good.
I
Yeah.
gave them good TV.
Right, because you're going back to this portal that opened up for you that you could have very well have walked through.
Right.
And then you said, drink the juice, Shelby.
Yeah, drink the juice, Shelby.
Yeah. And you came back and you said, the devil is a liar.
Yeah.
Did you have an outer body experience? Did you see any light?
I did not. And one of my really good friends, Kate, her father had died recently, and that was one thing that she asked me at one point. She just said, did you see anything? And I was like, I didn't see anything.
You woke up 2 days later.
2 days later with pneumonia too, because they had put me on ice to try to protect my brain.
Yeah.
So here I'm waking up and I had this short-term memory. So they would tell me something.
Yeah.
And they'd tell Bob, honey, you had a heart attack. And I'd start crying emotional. And then all of a sudden, 10 minutes later, I'd be like, where are we? What are we doing? It was like the most fucked
Like
up Finding
Dory.
Dory.
Yeah.
Yep. It is the most fucked up Finding Nemo ever.
Oh my God.
But you will, okay, the two of you will appreciate this. So they're all worried, just like Christy, Kate, Anthony, Nicole, they're all going through it. But at one point, my friend Kate comes in, and I'm sitting there, and I looked at her shoes, and I was just like, those are the shoes you decided to wear today. And she was like, what? I just got there, right? And I was like this, I would have chosen a motorcycle boot. And that's when she literally was like, everybody, he's fine.
He's back.
This bitch is fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh,
you don't
amazing.
have to say the gym you were at, but I know that you advocate that all gyms should have the
Defib.
AED.
Yeah.
What's does that stand for again?
Automatic external defibrillator.
Okay.
Automated. Maybe automated or automatic.
Probably
Automated.
Automated.
And I think that every gym should have one of those. And every single one of us needs to be CPR certified. My best friend,
Yes.
Christy, she got CPR certified right after. Everyone, I've had so many people, when I first told my story, Savannah Guthrie,
Yeah.
in shape, looking great. She literally was like, I went to right when I heard this happen to you, I went to my doctor immediately to get checked out. So I was like, you know what? I'm doing God's work.
Yes,
I'm doing God's work.
You are absolutely spreading the gospel of clean living and of the good, bad, and the ugly cholesterol.
And the good, bad, and the ugly of genetics.
That's
genetics.
True.
Because exactly, Michelle, it's one of those things, don't judge a book by its cover. Because I'm looking at you all tall and fit and pretty, giving me plaid.
Yes.
And I'm like, you know what? I need to know what's going on the inside.
Oh, honey, it's rusty. Oh, yeah, honey, it is rusty. I posted that picture of me in the hospital, and that was a really hard thing to do. And when you wrote on there, you just it was just so touching. I mean, she and I have this love affair, at least in my mind.
100%. I've been stalking you for years.
Twitter friends,
Instagram. Twitter.
She posted one time. This is when I really knew I was going to love Michelle Visage when she had like a throwback picture and she's with all these. I'm saying queens. I don't know if they are.
I'm sure they were.
But I was just like this. I would so have been best friends with that bitch. She and I would have been just tight.
100%.
Absolutely.
I mean, I saw that. You posted that picture, and I was like, I love me and Michelle Visage.
I love it. We've got Bob Harper here. His new book is called The Super Carb Diet.
Yeah, we haven't even talked
about it. We're going to talk about it in the next break. We're going to go to a break right now, but it's just so fascinating what happened to you, and it's important that it happened to you and that you survived because you can spread the gospel about how to be aware of your body. Now, before we go to break, just real quick, in hindsight, were there signs before this happened where you thought, you know what, that thing happened and I should have been paying attention?
Were there crop circles?
Oh, right. There were absolutely crop circles. I was in a gym here in Los Angeles 6 weeks prior to my heart attack, and I fainted in the gym.
And that was not normal for you.
That was not normal. But of course, I broke one of my cardinal rules, and that was I wasn't listening to my body, because after that, I started having these dizzy spells all the time. So what I did...
Dizzy spells? Like vertigo?
And I went to a doctor, and he had said, because he looked at me and he was like, you're in great shape. It might be vertigo. Try taking Dramamine and see if that works. But I started really adapting all my workouts. I knew what would really make me dizzy. Any type of squatting, I knew I would just go into a tailspin. So the Friday before my heart attack, I had to leave the gym in Chelsea, and I'm on 18th Street. I was so dizzy with my dog, I was on my hands and knees on the sidewalk because I was like, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to go down real hard. And I was on the phone with my friend in New York, Richie, and he was like, you're seeing my doctor. We're going to see what's going on. This is not normal, Bob. Right. And then he was like, I was going to see his doctor on that Sunday. That's when I went down.
Oh my God.
My goodness. All right, we've got Bob Harper. We're going to be right back after this break. You know, Michelle, Talkspace is like an online GPS system for your soul.
And we need it.
We absolutely need it. What happens is throughout life, we sometimes need someone who we can talk to who can be unbiased and who can actually help us sort of discern what direction to go in emotionally, and that's why Talkspace is so fabulous in the 21st century.
Listen, I think I'm a great advice giver. I know that you're a great advice giver, but sometimes people can hear the advice that we have to give and be like, no, that's not going to work for me.
Right.
That might work for you, Michelle, and that might work for you, Ru, but for me, I can't do things that way.
Yeah.
And that's why you should be talking to a therapist and not a friend at all.
Licensed therapist.
Correct. You can ask your friends what they think, but let me tell you something. This is the way it is. You can improve your mental health even if you've had trouble making time for it in the past. Talkspace is an online therapy company. So you can message a licensed therapist from anywhere at any time. All you need is the mobile app or a computer with internet connection. And if you can't imagine fitting anything else into your life, well, with Talkspace, therapies is easy as sending your therapist a message or a text. Get something off your chest whenever you need to. You could talk about the everyday challenges at work or even at home. Just chat about life. Sometimes you feel like you need to just vent.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, you need it. It's a healthy thing to do.
Of course. The Talkspace platform is over 2,000 licensed therapists who are experienced in addressing life challenges that we all face. To match with a perfect therapist for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy, go to Talkspace.com/Ru. Use the offer code RU to get $30 off your first month. It's Talkspace.com, offer code RU.
We are back with Bob Harper. Hopefully, before and during the break, we had some type of commercial for Pure for Men or Pure for Women
hopefully.
or something like that.
Pure for both.
Pure for both. I mean, you never know. You've got to be ready. And that's what we were talking about before the break. Is that knowing your body, being prepared for whatever is going to be happening,
And you never know.
and you never ever know.
You never know.
We're going to talk about the book Super Carb Diet.
I just rather talk about all this other stuff.
Well, no, this is our life. As soon as we enter a room, this is what we just go for it.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Michelle is big on food and combinations of food. Now, how different is this book from, say, any other diet book?
I'll tell you this. Because there are so many diets out there, right?
And there's not one that I haven't done.
And right, it's one of those. And me too, honey. I've done them all.
one.
I've done them
Were you a
all.
fat kid?
I've done. No, I was never a fat kid, but I've always just been like a sponge. Again, being a sponge. So it's like I want to know about this. I want to know about that diet. I want to see what that does. I want to see how this works for me.
But they all seem to work if you do them.
But the thing about that is, and I agree with you. If you go to such an extreme,
You won't stick with it.
You won't stick with it.
Right.
I mean, you might as well do like the Tic Tac diet, right?
Sure, yeah, it worked for me.
So what I wanted to do with this book was press the reset button on people's diets and just go, let's get back to balance.
Yeah.
Let's go back to looking at your plate and going, okay, I want you to have protein, fat, carbs, vegetables every single time you eat.
Kind of like Zony.
It's definitely like Zony. It's very much macro counting.
Okay, this is where we run into confusion for your lay person. Because
It gets
I
tricky.
have read a lot of the book. I haven't read it all, I'm not going to lie, but I read a big chunk of it. And I wanted to get into the thick of it. You have a lot of math going on.
And my publishers were really nervous about that. They were like, Bob, it's tricky. And I said,
It's not tricky, it's just specific.
It's specific. And what I don't want to do is just kind of like sell you a bill of goods, right? I don't want it to be bullshit.
Right.
Like they wanted it to be like, okay, give me the days, like, 30 days you can transform. I'm like, no, because this is not really a diet as much as it's going to be a way of eating for the rest of your life.
It's very clean. It's very healthy.
It's very clean. It's very healthy. It's like, and you're not depriving yourself, because I don't want to be able to feel like I've committed some mortal sin by eating a sandwich.
Yeah.
This bitch wants a sandwich.
Sure, yeah. You deserve a sandwich.
I do.
Now I'm going to get my list. I'm on the paleo fit diet. I'm going to get the list out of this bag over here.
Okay.
And I want you to look at it.
Okay.
And then let's start talking about, because I've been vegan for the past 3 years, but I just got blood work back from my doctor saying that if I go back far enough, I have signs of insulin resistance. So what he's saying to me is, you can't be vegan anymore.
Or you're going to get diabetes.
If I stayed, because my body doesn't process carbohydrates the way an average normal person does, because I have autoimmune, he said veganism is not going to work for me.
Okay, well,
long term.
and let me tell you, I am prefacing all this by saying that I am not a doctor.
Correct.
Yeah.
Neither
I
am
am not a doctor.
Right.
I am going to say a lot of vegans and vegetarians I know, I'm not going to say I know. I'm going to make a very general statement.
Okay. All right.
You have to be really careful when you say that you're a vegan or a vegetarian and you're eating all this processed crap that's so high in sugar.
Correct.
It's like this. I'm a vegetarian. I'm having these smoothies that are 1 million calories, a ton of sugar. It's like, it's crap. To really be a vegan, like I'm sure you know, it is whole food. It is plant-based. It is clean. It is no sugar. It is.
I lost a ton of weight and I felt great. My skin, everything about me. The issue was my blood work wasn't seeing that. That's the shitty part.
Yeah.
I wasn't a junk food vegan. I was
Good.
everything. Even like today, I have a vegan cashew cheese with sweet potatoes. I made it. It's not junk that
Right.
So the point is, even with eating cleanly, every once in a while when I'm on tour, I have potato chips and hummus because that's the only thing I can get.
Well, I want it.
I know, yum.
Did you bring me one?
But I
Right.
didn't, and they were fried in coconut oil. Like everything was done the right way. Sweet potatoes instead of white when I can.
Did you have it orally?
Unfortunately, the point is, and I think this goes back to your book and everything else. One diet is not fit for everybody.
Correct. But I think the umbrella over all the diets is trying to get people to go back to eating food that's not so process.
And
No, you're
made.
absolutely right. Because when you go to other parts of the world, we live in Los Angeles and New York and San Francisco and all these fabulous places. Everywhere else, there is nothing else to eat unless you're going to get
Fast food.
Yeah, it's fast food. Unless you're going to get in there and you're going to make all your food. Everyone in America is eating crap. Everyone is doing
Correct.
And it's so difficult.
It's hard,
to
and
do the other
it's
thing.
also expensive.
It's very expensive.
This food that I'm seeing over
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
this ain't cheap.
It's not
No.
cheap. But I got to tell you, for me in LA, I think it ends up being.
Dying.
I think it ends up being. You
Don't
want some
die.
water? It ends up being $50 a day. I get 3 meals, 2 snacks, and I have a refrigerator still full of food because I can't eat it all. That's really cheap.
Right. And what I have done, I can approach this in so many. I'm gonna put my trainer,
Okay.
nutritionist hat
Yes.
on right now because I've had to work with so many people in the flyover states.
Yes.
That $50 a day is a lot of money.
Yes.
So I show you that going to the grocery store, you don't necessarily have to buy all the fresh produce that's over, on the outsides that's so expensive, but you can go into the frozen food section and get those frozen vegetables,
There's
those
organic frozen vegetables too.
There's so much of it now, and like arguably could be. Like I'm going to be very optimistic and say it could be that those nutrients, micronutrients in those foods, got frozen and got stayed in there.
Sure.
So like that's why I say it's like it can be done because I'm working with people that are on a budget.
Yeah.
Yes.
But then also on the flip side of that is to say, do you want to pay now at the grocery store
Right.
or later with healthcare costs?
Right. But you will pay.
But you will
100%.
pay.
Yeah.
You will always have to pay that piper. He is
Yeah.
a motherfucker, and
Yeah.
he will come at you.
yeah,
Yes.
and that Piper has lots of charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
He's hot.
So,
So-
let's explain.
Yeah, no, because the other one I was doing, I'm not going to name any
No.
names. That was $60 a day.
That was also all organic and all paleo.
What that was?
Yes.
But you know what? The
wanna
food
see
started
your- 'Cause
I'm the one who
tasting-
told him about
the
it.
food started tasting like cafeteria style. After about a few months, everything
bored.
started tasting
Yeah.
exactly the same. This one, which is a different company,
But this one's
it
one of the
doesn't-
longest standing.
Yeah.
They've been around forever.
Yeah,
That-
we're talking about the food service thing. They drop it off at my house every day, and I
Yes.
take it, and it's a lot of food. Now,
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Because I'm
yeah.
looking at your
yeah,
food
this
right
is
now.
today's food.
This is today's food.
Yeah.
Because you have gotten your blood work checked out
Yeah.
from your doctor.
Yeah.
Right. So everything's good. Because it's very paleo in that way.
What does paleo mean?
Paleo,
Is caveman?
It's the cave, the
Yeah.
Paleolithic.
High fat.
What's the ancestral
Oh,
Where
diet?
ancestors ate.
Yeah, that's like that's like the real fancy way to say paleo, the ancestral diet. That's
And I'm
that's
supposed to be
the
eating
word.
autoimmune paleo, which then takes away every nightshade, nuts, seeds, beets,
Zucchini,
beans, legumes.
eggplant.
Correct, all of that. No
I used to
eggs.
follow macrobiotic. You probably know all
I
about
was macrobiotic for a few years.
Me too, girl.
Yeah.
So now
too.
you see a red flag in my diet for today?
No, I do not see a red flag. I mean, I do see that there's there's a lot of bacon today, huh?
Oh yeah, honey.
We got a
Oh
lot.
yeah, baby. In
There's
fact,
we're having paleo pancakes with bacon.
Yeah,
We're having
and
some more bacon.
usually-
at the
Rue
paleo
loves
pop
some
salad.
bacon.
can't nobody take away my bacon.
No, baby.
Now, literally, today they snuck a third piece in there.
And tell me how you felt.
Oh, I felt like, oh, girl, Jesus is loving
Yes!
me.
This
Yes,
is a
God,
treat.
I am God's child. But
This is a treat because I'm being so good to the people.
yeah. So wait a minute. You see some more bacon in my future? You said that there's another piece
baby.
of bacon.
But wait
Baby,
a minute,
we got
bacon is
bacon.
very big in the CrossFit world, Bob Harper.
I know.
Okay.
I know. Although I will
Eat
say
big,
this,
lift big.
I will say this because I know I know Greg Glassman. He's the creator of CrossFit.
Yes.
And it used to be in his mind. It might have changed, but until recently, or maybe still now, he's very much more zone than
Oh, is he?
paleo. He
Well,
likes balance.
Every CrossFitter owns a Body by Bacon t-shirt.
That's right. I know. It's like people love their bacon. But my question to you, after looking at all this, the food that you're eating, how do you feel?
I feel fantastic.
Great. Then
I
that's
feel
all that
fantastic.
matters.
I really do.
And your doctor knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
You've had your blood work. You feel good. And how are your workouts? Or how are you performing?
Fantastic. I get in there and I've given my trainer an iPod with all of my music in there. We get in there and we party. And I get in there at 5:45 in the morning before anyone else gets there. So we have the whole place to ourselves. In fact, last week I brought in a pair of hooker heels for him.
Oh, for him?
Yeah, and he wore those, those hooker heels. What do they call them? Stripper heels.
Like the pleasers?
Yeah, the pleasers.
Yeah.
He wore those throughout the whole workout.
I love
he was
it.
loving it. But on this thing, it starts with paleo pancakes. Don't know what the fuck that is.
Probably
and
Protein
bacon.
whites and
Yeah, protein powder.
There's probably protein powder in that
protein
pancake.
pancakes. When I was
That's a
into the
protein
bodybuilding, I was
pancake.
living. There was nothing better than my protein pancakes,
Yeah.
which was gluten-free oatmeal ground up with protein powder, which was always shit whey protein. Whey protein's disgusting for you, in my opinion. And then I would put egg
Preach.
whites, and then you just
Preach.
Yeah.
it's garbage.
And so that paleo pancakes with bacon for breakfast, and then a little cantaloupe. I ate the cantaloupe and some black coffee before I went to the gym, and then when I came home, I had the paleo
coffee
pancakes.
doesn't fuck you up either.
No, I love.
And the
I drink-
cantaloupe?
I
Cantaloupe's good in Mama
it's-
Ruth's stomach?
Yeah, it's really good. In fact, I had coffee before I went to bed last night. That's how I roll.
Oh, man.
That's how I roll.
I can do that too, by the way.
And then for lunch there's paleo Cobb salad, and then I have a snack of sweet potato hummus, Korean beef stir fry. I guess is my lunch maybe, and then
What's
it's
dinner?
there's a salad. There's a Napa cabbage salad, and then a
That's healthy.
snack of zucchini and sun-dried tomato bruschetta.
I'd like a little bit. I need to see a little bit more vegetable in Mama Ruth's diet.
You know what? I give. My assistant is vegetarian. I always give her the salad. Here, take this. I want this.
No.
Take this.
No.
Yeah, I want
That's
that.
the healthy part. You're giving
I don't want that.
away.
I don't
You'll
want
lose
that.
weight on that,
Yeah,
but I don't know what your blood work is going to look
Yeah.
like.
Okay. So now, with Super Carb Diet, does that mean we're going to take another break? But the Super Carb Diet, does that mean you get to eat French fries?
No, that does not. Oh, although I got this thing.
Air fryer,
air
yes.
fryer.
They
Does
don't
it
give me
work?
$1, and I'm telling you, it's the best thing in the world.
So you put a little oil, teeny bit.
You can put a little bit, or you can just do a little spray on there, and you put those fries in there, sweet potato or regular fingerling potatoes.
Yeah.
Does it
I love to
work?
cook.
Does it work?
I'm a cooking. I'm a chef. I mean,
Yeah.
hashtag I'm a chef. But hashtag I'm a chef. Whatever.
Me too. Thanks, Blue Apron.
Well, okay, well, I'm going to talk about this air fryer. Now, okay, so now they always give me sweet potato things.
I'm
in
gonna
my
order one
thing.
right now.
Why sweet potatoes?
Good fiber.
Better
Oh, it's good
carbohydrate.
fiber. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Slower burning.
That's a super carb, honey.
Oh, it's a super carb.
That's super carb.
That's part of the super carb diet.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you know who? Are there several different brands who make the air fryer?
I'm looking right now.
I'm going to say Sunbeam.
There's one
Right,
like something
one,
wave.
Sarah.
Something wave. That's
Something
one I
Wave.
have. I got it
Okay.
at McColl's.
Oh, at Kohl's.
I got it at Kohl's.
Now we're going to go to break, but you were living in L.A. I think on the same street that I live
wish
on.
you were
I
still.
heard that, but don't say it out loud. And then you live in New York now. Why did you get rid of the L.A. place?
No. I still live. I live in both places. I love LA. I love New York.
Yeah.
I mean, New York is
home.
New York has got me in the palm of its hand. Like
are you New York's bitch?
I am New York's bitch. I really am. Because like I love it. I love just being able. I can live in Los Angeles, and tell me if you guys feel this way. I can be very isolated
Yes.
here. It's like you're in your car, you
Yeah.
go to work, you go to the grocery store, and then you drive back
Into
up
the
to
garage.
You drive to your house,
Yeah.
and you're happy, you're content, you're all right there. And so I'm in New York, and it's like I got to get out.
Yeah.
I got to get out. I'm on the subway. I mean, I got people in my face.
Yeah.
It's like it's good for me.
Yeah.
Because I can hide, and New York really makes me get out.
Yes, because I've lived in the same place in New York for 24 years now. No, I can't count. I'll say 23 years, same place. And I have to. You go to the dry cleaner, you bump into the place. Hey, girl, let's go have a cup of coffee. Oh, and that leads to something else. It leads to something else. I don't do that here.
You
just
don't.
do
No,
that.
you
here.
don't.
We've got Bob Harper here. The new book is called The Super Carb Diet. It's available on Amazon. It's everywhere you find books. It is a fabulous book. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back with more. Squarespace is out of this world, man. They are making websites It's just the easiest way to do it. Everybody wants a website, and the way to do it is with Squarespace.
Yes, baby. And we received some more great emails at RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com. So make sure you send your Squarespace websites into there and tell us about all your fun stuff. And by the way, you can get a free trial with no credit card required. And I've got a letter here, Ru, from William Hannigan. As a longtime listener of the podcast, I wanted to firstly say thank you. My favorite part of the show is hearing you two reminisce about old times, giving us all such great, incredible insight to both queer and pop culture history. It's the highlight of my week. I'm a maker of theater of pop music from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, good on you, mate.
Yes, I wanted long time to make a website to folio my work, and after hearing you mention Squarespace for the 100th time, I finally got off my ass and it did it.
Good on ya. It's a bit of a go, isn't he?
Got off my ass. I'm not even going to try to do it. That was really terrible. For me, it was really important to have a platform that can compartmentalize all the facets of what I do, simply and aesthetically, and Squarespace was the perfect fit. It was so easy to populate the site with photos, videos, and importantly, my songs from SoundCloud. You can see my website at will-hannigan.com. Thanks again for years of clarity and literal belly laughs in a quiet office, and that's from Will.
Brilliant.
Just head to squarespace.com/Ru for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code RU to save 10% of your first purchase of a website or domain. That's offer code RU. You'll be getting a great deal. Thanks again to Squarespace, and keep sending your websites into RuPaulPodcast@gmail.com.
I was sitting there watching my show, and Nancy Pelosi walks out, and I was like this, excuse me?
Yeah, well, we are back with Bob Harper. We are educating the children. Not only do we tell them about Nancy Pelosi and that you got to get out and vote, we educate them on Paris is Burning and Great Gardens and food and diet and child. I saw a few episodes of the season 10 that
You
are
have
coming
not.
up. Yes, I have. Child, there's one episode where those kids go there with their stories. I'm sitting there watching an early cut, crying my eyes out.
Really?
Crying my eyes. And the next second, they're saying, bitch, you ain't talking to me.
Right.
You know, they turn on a dime.
Yeah.
See, that's what I love. I mean, that's what I love about a queen. That's why I love LaGuardia, Newark, Kennedy. Davenport.
She's so
because
funny.
you do not
She's so
want
funny.
to, like, she will turn on you so quick because she definitely has that little feeling of feeling left out.
Yes.
She does not want to feel left out.
Right.
And I'm like this, Kennedy, I got you. I would be right there with her. I love.
Yeah, well, she's a Southern queen. I know you love your Southern queens.
I like a Southern
Do you
queen.
ever get back down to Nashville or Clarksville?
I don't
Is
get-
it Clarkson or
Clarksville.
Clarksville. Yeah.
I don't get down there very often.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I feel like I did my time.
Yeah, no, you did.
I did
You
my
absolutely did. Now, we are going to talk about the girls, but real quickly, for Michelle's sake, she wants to understand the mathematics.
Break down the Super Carb Diet for regular people.
Okay, you know what I would say?
Without a scale.
I could give you. See, you got to do the work, Michelle.
What
You
about
gotta do
if you
That'd be like
tour-
me going like this. I really want to be a good drag queen, but I'm just not going to put all my makeup on.
Okay.
And you know what you would do?
8
You would
months out of the
call
year.
me out.
What do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do when I'm on tour with myself? No chef, Bob Harper. And I have to go, you saw what the fuck they tried to give me. By the way, for a vegan meal, they gave me chicken breast.
I'm going to tell you this. Okay, can I just let me give you like a couple of little things to think about.
Okay.
If you don't want to go with the math, I'm going to give you a general numbers. Okay.
Great.
When you eat your protein, have 4 ounces of protein.
Which
When
is
you-
this palm of your hand?
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Okay.
And then when you have your carbs, you should be having around 30 grams of carbs. So you got to look at the nutrition facts and look at that.
Well, that can be done.
And then your fat, you're going to have less than a serving of fat. So it's going to be
Healthy
around
fat,
12
olive
grams.
oil, coconut
12
oil,
grams of fat.
avocado.
Have that. But
Right.
12, don't, everyone's like, especially if you're on a diet with high fat, they're like, I'm having a whole avocado. I'm like this. Girl, you want to see me on ice again? Let me eat a whole avocado again.
Okay.
So,
all right.
so
And
there you
that
go.
doesn't-
Those are
Okay.
numbers.
Okay,
That
fair
doesn't
enough.
And you know what else
change.
I'm going to do for you?
What?
You will have my number. You have any questions, I will help you. You just text
You
me.
do not want to do that. I'm going to spam you.
Yeah, this bitch will spam
with
you.
pictures of food.
Yes, she certainly will.
When-
We'll throw-
24/7.
You know what? Throw in a naked boy pic too.
Yeah.
in
Oh,
I
there,
could do that. I
and
could
I
do
will.
that.
Yeah,
can do that.
she'll
I can
show
do
you her dick.
Yeah,
She will.
anytime
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Show me your-
It's the biggest you've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly. So now, okay, so that was a lot of numbers, but you're saying it is simple to do.
You have
It's
to
simple to
because
do.
they're doing here. This company, I don't know if we can say the name.
can't
or not.
say their name.
I'm not
No,
going to
say
say the
it,
name,
say it,
but they are doing the numbers for you.
Yeah.
they're doing that. They're not just going like this. Here, let me give her these paleo pancakes and bacon. They're measuring it out. So they're doing what my book is telling you to do on your own.
Okay.
And you've also you've been looking at these meals now for a while.
Yeah.
You can basically eyeball a plate, and in my opinion,
I can eyeball a plate.
You can eyeball a plate and
like
go, this
I'm
is
looking at
too
that.
much.
That's
I would never eat. That's way too much.
That's a couple of servings.
I brought it
I
for-
want it.
for
I
us.
want it all.
It's so good, and it's
I'm
vegan,
sure.
and it's organic, and so he breaks it down right here.
She's
if you
showing me
see.
a menu here. Now this is.
Can you see that?
1 gram of carbohydrates equals 4 calories. 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories. Okay.
That's the wrong number. All of a sudden, I'm like,
Bob.
wait, oops.
So that's the first grouping of math that you have.
I know. Well,
to
it
remember.
gets tricky. I get it. It's tricky.
The point is,
I'm a numbers girl. I can't help it.
but we are not. So the reason is I love this book, and I think this book is important. That's why when somebody picks it up and goes, oh, okay, how do we make it easy? So I think what you just said about pretty much breaking it down into sections on the plate, I think that helps a lot.
Because even with these meals, and I brought some for these kids for lunch, I don't eat a whole thing. I end up eating just like a part of it, and I end up throwing a lot of it away. You know,
Eating like a bird.
I
couldn't possibly eat all this food.
What's that, bacon?
No, I tell.
I'd be literally going like this. Bitch, hand it over. I'll eat it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. My husband George will say, you eat just like a bird, a vulture." Okay, now with our remaining time, I think we should talk. But first, before we go on, is there a Super Carb Diet audiobook where you're reading the book? You should get Ben de la Creme to do the audiobook.
I would love it.
She
Her
does.
little goth girl that she did.
Yes.
That's
hilarious.
what pissed me off.
Yeah.
That she quit.
Yeah. Well, she
Yep.
does speak. She just does up speak. You know, in her pieces to camera, she does vocal fry, which is
Vocal fry.
She does vocal fry, and she does up speak.
I can't even do it. I
That's
can't even do vocal
Kardashian.
fry.
This is
I
good.
think
I'm gonna try to talk the rest in vocal fry.
I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna get your book.
Can I just
Super Carb Diet?
That's it. You got vocal fry.
Yeah, vocal fry and up speak and the up speak.
So
thing.
everything ends on a question.
Yeah, everything
Right.
ends on a question.
One thing about the only fun thing I wanted to say about this book,
Super Carb Diet?
with the two of you, Super Carb Diet, is the last acknowledgement in the book is something that is very close to my heart, because when I was in the hospital for a week, I was just miserable in that place. I was
Ew,
like,
the food is gross too.
the food was gross. I wasn't eating. I was depressed. I was a wreck. But one night, and this is like, I thanked Whitney Houston and all the makers of the movie The Bodyguard.
Oh, yay!
I needed to thank them because my boyfriend brought in a DVD player from the nurses, and we watched The Bodyguard in the hospital eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And it was one of those things where I remember just kind of saying to myself, you know what? Everything's going to be okay.
Yes.
And I was alive watching Whitney sing.
Yes.
And I was just like, I am there.
That's right.
I'm still here on this earth. And I was just so happy. And I had to, I put that
I'm
acknowledgement.
glad
great
you did.
movie.
It's funny, but
It's the best movie in the world.
Michelle has we won't get into it. Michelle
do?
has
What?
Michelle has an association with The Bodyguard. She has a song in The Bodyguard soundtrack which paid for
It's
her
in the movie
parents
too, by the way.
which paid for her parents' house. But I just want to say, it is those life moments where you are facing your demise, where you realize what's important, and what's important are the joy, the love, the colors, the smells, the beauty, the laughter, the dancing, all of those things. The Whitney Houston DVD, all of those things.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul's Drag Race, all of those things. That's what's important in this life. And we talk about what's happening currently politically. I say all the time, our biggest weapon, our biggest defense are those beautiful things, the colors, our love for life, our love for love. What Robin S. say?
Giving you love.
God to show me
Again,
love.
show me love.
Show
and
me
love.
love.
Love
Love
for
for
love. And
love.
show me
Love for-
love. And that's what it's all about.
Love.
Yeah, and that's
You know?
why I got up this morning. I'm always like, I really try to find things that I'm appreciative of in my life.
Yeah.
My friends, the people that I love the most, and like I acknowledge it. And when I got up this morning, I was so excited about coming to meet the two of you. And it was like I called today's RuPaul Christmas.
Oh, okay.
Today's a RuPaul Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho.
And I was just like, I got up and I was thinking, I'm gonna get to meet Mama Ru today, and I'm gonna see Michelle Visage.
I can't believe y'all's path didn't cross before.
Well, it did at the
Atlanta,
club.
but I mean,
think I saw you in an event. I saw you at E-Television. We got to say hello.
And I have that picture. I have that picture of the two of us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And maybe someday I'll get to be a judge.
Oh, you will be a judge.
yes, bitch.
You will be a judge. You're going to be a judge on season 11, which we're about to start.
11.
Yeah, that's your Christmas present.
Don't kid.
No,
Mama Ru.
No,
don't you kid me. I got to plan my outfit.
Christy, you heard it. Your Christmas present. You came here for Christmas.
I got to
Prissy
plan.
Kissness.
Oh my God.
Prissy
I gotta plan my outfit.
Prissy Kissness. You are going to be a judge on season 11.
You just
I'm
have
gonna
to
be
endure
tough.
text from
Yes.
me in between.
Did you think you're going to be tucked? Is that what you said?
I'm gonna be.
You're going to be tucked.
I want to be tucked.
They all come on thinking they're going to be really tough.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like,
I'm not. I'm gonna be tough.
Yeah.
all right, Bob
I'm
Harper.
gonna be tough on those bitches.
Coming for
I'm
my
like this.
king. Okay, all right, Bob Harper.
Well,
I see you.
We got Bob Harper. I mean, we have a few more minutes left. I just want to ask you, what do you have a spiritual program that you do every day? You got the food, you got the body, you got all that. What about your spiritual program?
Well, I don't have the body that I used to, but
Your
that's
body's
okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thank you.
Amazing. Just do 12 burpees. Go.
One thing that I do that is really helpful to me is I do transcendental meditation.
Do you?
I do TM.
We've been talking about this for a long time.
Oh,
I
my-
want to try, and I don't know where to start.
Oh, girl,
Don't you need a
again,
teacher?
I got you.
Okay.
I will get, because it is been something that is so helpful to me to kind of get my brain intact. And it's funny, when I was going through all my depression after the heart attack, I stopped doing TM. And it was one of those things, like, I really thought about it in hindsight. I was just like, the one thing that was going to make me feel better, I didn't do.
Interesting.
And and that was like something I had to really look at.
Well,
But-
I think you probably walked real close to the fire just to get the feeling back again and to understand what's important. A lot of times we do that. We go as close to the edge and then realize, no, I don't want to go over the edge. I want to be here.
Exactly. And that girl that's sitting across this
Christy,
table,
your
right,
friend Christy?
my friend Christy, she endured the conversations as I was walking on the street to go to rehab, where I'd just still be like a wreck crying. Like, it got to the point where I was literally like this. I'm calling her and she's just going to be like this. Oh, this bitch, here she goes again. And be
That's
so,
what best friends are for.
she was absolute perfection taking me through that, because she took every single phone call. She never once just like said, girl, get over it, or whatever. I mean, she was in like that.
It's very important.
my girl.
That's why I love the movie The Wizard of Oz, because the other, when Dorothy lays down in the poppy fields, which we know is it's drugs. Poppy field is opium.
Was that at weekends?
That's at weekends. Disco. Her friend says, I think it's the Tin Man who's immune to it. He says, "Come on, Dorothy, get up. Remember where we were going. We were on our way here." And she said, "Oh, honey, just let me lay down here for a yeah." And but you need those friends. You need it's mind, body, and spirit. We got the body part in the Super Carb Diet, spirit part with your meditation, and then your mind. That's just gone. It's just you're just leotarded, and there's no coming back from that.
And I want our listeners to know that it did not go beyond me that you just quoted Grandmaster Flash without even thinking about
But
it.
did I? Or I thought I was
Don't
quoting the
push
Wu-Tang
me, 'cause
Clan.
I am close to
Did I
the
do?
edge.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Grandmaster Flash. Don't think it didn't go unnoticed.
No, I thought I was doing the Wu-Tang
No,
Clan.
bitch, that was
or
Flash.
Raekwon.
No, Raekwon. No.
Raekwon. Yeah. Now, okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Not those queens.
Go, Bob.
What do you need? So
Okay,
the queens they're amazing. As you well know from the show, they come from these varied backgrounds, but they come together on this idea that they're outsiders. And they found this punk rock way of expressing themselves, and at the same time saying "F you" to the status quo of. And now you grew up in a very conservative,
conservative, yeah.
How were you able? What was your saving grace?
Oh,
Getting out.
honey, getting out, because like I was the one that came out early on, like a junior in high school.
Oh, wow.
Because like my whole thinking, I always felt like I've not only was on the outside, but I was alone on the outside. So I was like, if I don't have my back, who else is going to? And so I came out like gangbusters. I was like, I am gay. This is how it is. I met these older friends that would take me to the warehouse in Nashville with my fake ID.
That wasn't easy in the 80s.
It wasn't easy because let me tell you, I had fag painted on my. It wasn't a driveway, but like just on the in the yard, like with shaving cream. We had things like that. I mean, just like the bullying and I was just like this. I got such a tough and thick skin. That's why when I see all these bullying, I think about the kids that don't make it through the bullying, and I just go, God, I just want to reach out to all of them and go like this. It will get better. Yeah. You're going to find your tribe of people that will take care of you, but you've got to go through the fire to get to paradise. Yes. And like sitting here with you guys, I'm in paradise.
You are in paradise. That's right. You got to go through the fire.
And the thing is, our people have been through the fire. I've been through the fire. You've been through the fire. The kids these days don't necessarily go through the fire.
Well, they've had the helicopter parents, and they've made the whole world baby safe. And the truth is, because I think the parents selfishly, narcissistically, don't want to experience the hurt through their kids. You have to let your kids.
We want to hurt for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You want to hurt for them. Right. It's like they've got to hurt.
Correct.
They've got to go through it.
They got to get
because it makes you more. There's more layers to you when you go through that.
That's right. When a bird learns to fly, you got to push them out of the nest.
Kick them.
They'll fall.
Yes.
Kick them out of the nest. They'll fall. Yeah. They might get hurt. And then they'll pick themselves up.
I kick my daughters every night.
Oh, well.
It's like you go through all that, and then you end up being an adult that goes, I'm going to put stripes with plaid and just say, fuck all y'all.
Yes,
he's commenting on my I love my outfit.
I love so
stripes
much.
and plaids. And
Me too.
When I was a kid, I would dress crazy. I love patterns. I love colors. I love all the stuff,
I'm so scared of color because I'm colorblind.
Are you really?
That's why I'm always in black. Rick Owens is my life.
Yeah.
I mean, he is my life. Him and Yoji.
I can't imagine what colorblind. I can't imagine what that feels like.
I can tell you what it looks like because my husband's colorblind.
But really?
He comes down sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Is it literally you cannot see color?
Well, usually reds and greens.
Reds and greens start to look like browns, but like I see that there's red and there's yellow. Like, I'm hoping that that's blue. Is there blue in there?
Yes, it's navy.
Okay, good. See, I'm doing better.
I'm wearing a tartan blazer with a French.
It's very Vivienne
sailor.
Westwood. It's very like in homage to my dog. I think that you were giving me Vivienne Westwood from my dog.
Yes.
And the shirt underneath is very Jean Paul Gaultier.
Very Jean Paul.
Yes, we love our colors. We love our fashion. You are so lovely, Bob Harper. You've got to come back. Well, we will definitely see you and talk to you again when you're on our show, which is going to be filming in a few months. It's in May and June or something.
I would be thinking about my outfit as I'm walking.
Yes. Well, bring several.
It'll be black.
You could switch outfits.
I always get it right the first time.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right.
I mean, I always get it right the first time.
Let you tell it, Bob.
Well, we are so happy that you decided to stick around on this planet and live to tell the story. The book is called The Super Carb Diet. There are lots of books. It's really good. There are lots of Bob Harper books, but go pick up this one. This will make the publishers really happy over at St. Martin's Press.
They'll be very, very happy.
And look out for the audiobook as read by Ben de la Creme.
We're putting that out to the universe. Yeah. Although Kennedy might do a better job.
I would love that. I would love that.
I would love Kennedy.
Super Carb Diet.
I love it. Well, you are a joy.
But fuck my drag, right?
Okay. Well, Bob, we will see you soon. Thank you for coming down.
Thank you.
Prissy Kissness. Prissy Kissness, baby.
It's Prissy Kissness.
Prissy Kissness. And Christy, thank you for coming down and bringing Bob. And Michelle, until next time.
Okay, baby. Bye.
Can I get an amen? If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Can I get an amen?
And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes.
If you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else? Amen.